Occhio, Mocha e Venti. Espresso, 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 espresso.
Oh, you buckalers, this is the Kid. I'm excited about my new show, Conversations with the Kid. My producer here, Frank, which I'm very excited to have in my corner. I'm excited about all this here, Frank.
Yeah, I mean, this show is going to be something else. Gigi, I thought it was a good idea as your producer for the very first episode that we turn the tables on Mr. Gigi over here to learn a little bit about your history, how you got in the restaurant business, why family's so important to you. So tell me, Gigi, let's start it off. How long ago did you decide, like, the restaurant business is where I'm going to be?
Well, I grew up in a town called Cicero. And my father was a baker. My mother worked in a factory as a chef, cooking for the employees there. When I came home every day, it was tough to have a hot meal every day because there was 5 brothers and 1 sister. And when my mother came home, she used to cook in the basement. Everybody was in the basement.
Right. It's a big Italian thing. You got to have a kitchen upstairs and a kitchen
And you
downstairs.
can't use the kitchen.
No.
Because there was a plastic all over the
I was just gonna say.
and everything. You couldn't go upstairs.
Yeah.
I remember that. So everybody stood downstairs in the basement. When my mother came home, it was like a restaurant.
Yeah.
5 kids, one sister. It was beautiful. So one day, my mother and my father opened up a little place on Oak Park Avenue in Berwyn. And we all used to work together. But it wasn't my thing, the restaurant business. I said,
Really?
yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't. It was something you had to be there every day,
Yeah.
And my brothers, I seen them how hard they worked, and I always wanted to get out and play some sports or do something else. One day I woke up. I didn't like school too much, so my father was like, "Hey, you haven't been to school in a week. What you been doing?" I says, "Dad, I'm kind of confused." What I
Right.
want to do in
Right.
life. I was 17 years old.
Yeah.
He said, well, it's one way or the other. He says, you're going to have to come to the restaurant. We're going to go back to school. So I went on the other side.
Right.
I went back to the restaurant business. And I got to tell you, I
Now-
started from the kitchen, which you have to learn.
Right.
If you really want to be a restaurant owner, you have to know all the zones in a restaurant
So
business.
did your dad start you as the dishwasher, the cleaner, all the way through?
And it's funny you asked that, your dishwasher, because I was embarrassing to myself. I was a dishwasher. My brother was a waiter and the other brother was a cook. We all worked in there.
Right.
So when I used to date the girls, they used to ask me, hey, what do you do? I said, I'm a waiter.
Yeah, of course.
When they used to come in, they said, they never see me. I'm in the back with the apron cleaning dishes. I didn't want to come out in the front, tell them I was a dishwasher.
Yeah.
But here, being successful like I am today,
Yeah.
I think I am.
Yeah.
I love the restaurant business, but I tell all my employees, if you want to be successful, you have to learn from the back of the house to the front of the house. In this world today, things are different. I know there's computers. Back then, there wasn't all these computers
Right.
and all this technology. It's a little different today. But I do things old school way. And everybody used to say to me, hey, Gigi, how do you have such a successful business? You come on Monday, there's a wait. You come on Tuesday, there's a wait. Well, I believe the old school way has been working. I use the best product, Greco and Sons.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 35 years. I don't cheat my customers. I buy the best. Whatever I like, what I know growing up, that's what I give my customers today.
Yeah.
When you start cheating, people see that.
Was that a principle that your father and mother instilled in you, starting at that young age with the one restaurant? Did they always believe the same thing? Like, you got to give, no matter if we can't afford, the best, we're going to give them the best we can afford.
Exactly. And it's been working since 1983.
Wow.
We started in Berwyn.
Wow.
We all, again, like I said, we all used to work together as a family.
And the recipes you guys are cooking today are your mother's exact recipes?
And there's another thing, I've been blessed. I was the mama's boy. So God rest her soul, my mother.
I mean, no offense to the rest of the Capri family.
Right.
You were the golden child.
I believe I was, and I was. My mother always was really close to me. There was times that I used to go in the kitchen and watch her because I wanted to be a cook too.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I could cook. The dishes I know how to cook that I show on my Instagram. If you guys watch, on Sundays or Mondays I cook for my wife, and those dishes I make, those are the dishes I used to peek in the kitchen and watch my mother make.
Yeah.
She never used any. She didn't measure anything. Everything was with her hands.
So dash of this.
That was it. And everything was perfect.
Yeah.
So growing up, those were the dishes that I appreciate, that I miss today, that you don't really see out there.
Right.
So those pasta fagioli or pasta and peas or stuffed calamari or the bacala, those are dishes that you really don't see in Italian community restaurants anymore.
Right. With your family being so big and so tight, there's got to be a little level of competition because everyone's in the restaurant business in your family.
Yes.
How did you guys navigate the distribution of the Capri name? And was Capri your parents' original name of the restaurant?
I think one of my mother and one of my brothers created the name in Berwyn, if I'm not mistaken. The Capri, like the island of Capri.
Yeah.
Because of the fish, the water.
Is that where your family's from, Capri?
No, we're from Calabria, Cosenza.
So why not call it Calabria?
I had no idea how that name came up. I think back in when they first started years ago, there was another cousin or uncle that came up with the name, and that's how they got it. And I think there was one of the dishes, calamari Capri, that made us kind of famous.
Yeah.
And there was a food critic guy called Pat Bruno that put us on our first write-up. It was the calamari, the eggplant parmesan, and the chicken Vesuvio. And we only started with 8 tables back in the day on Oak Park Avenue.
Right.
And then it just
8 tables.
8 tables.
Wow.
8 tables. We all worked there. 7 days a week we were there.
Was it a hit from the day it opened? Or
No. It took a little time. Our first food write-up in the Chicago Tribune, as a matter of fact, it's on my menu, was Pat Bruno. He wrote us up with our chicken Vesuvio and our eggplant parmesan. And that was it. And then it was a home run from that write-up.
So let's go back to family for a second, because being Italian, and I'm Italian, and growing up in a big family, it is, for us in our culture, probably one of the most important things for us is to maintain the closeness with our family, to take care of each other. And today you kind of bring that into the restaurants, into your customers. You're around the tables. You're always going up to people. Now today with your success on social media, everybody knows who Gigi is. You're popping up all over the place. How do you maintain that close family feel and extend it to the customers? Like where's in your heart, where does that all come from?
Well, I mean, growing up in a household with 5 brothers and 1 sister, we were very close and tight. It was very, very tight family. As you get older in this restaurant industry, we all work together.
Yeah.
And it was kind of hard, Frank,
Oh, sure.
I would go in front of the house. I would be the front of the house guy. And I had 2 brothers that worked in the kitchen, which was my brother Johnny and my brother Robert. Me, Joey, and my sister and my brother Andy worked in the front of the house. So when we would do things in the restaurant, I would kind of move the oil bottle this way, and then all of a sudden I turn my back and my brother would move it this way. So there was a lot of bumping and grinding.
Yeah.
But being in the restaurant industry today, when I see these families that walk in, it gives me energy to walk around, to touch the table, to go say hi to the customers.
Yeah.
And I don't do that because I want to. I do it because I feel very comfortable going up to my customers, and we become a part of the family.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me feel great when they walk in, these people, and my customers, they come from the city or all over. It's amazing.
Well, now people are flying in from New York and from all these different states to come see the kid.
And that's another energy that I get every day, mentioning that. Like today, there's people coming from New York.
Yeah.
We have so many followings, but you know what it is, these followers? That's amazing, because a lot of the old school people, and they call me and say, "Hey, kid, that dish that you're making with the neck bone and gravy, the oil, I haven't seen it in 30 years. My grandma used to make it, and you dip the bread in there. I used to do that growing up." Those are memories that they used to have when they were kids.
Yeah.
And it brings me more energy.
Yeah.
When I do these videos, there's no scripts, there's no nothing. It's just live. And that's what I say. It's live because it comes from my heart. It means something to me. It brings back memories when I was growing up. And there's not enough that we talk about this, the Italians.
Yeah.
It seems like it fades away. We need more and discuss the Italian restaurant and in the industry about our childhood when we're growing up.
Yeah.
And that's what I like to do. And that's when I do my videos, it touches people.
Exactly. It comes through. And I've known you almost for a decade now. And what you see on those videos is Gigi 10 years ago. And now he just got a spotlight on you, bringing your personality out, which is really cool. And I seen you sell these hats, Make America Italian Again.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, it was kind of funny. Is somebody gave me a hat, and we put it on during this event that we had with the what was it, a couple weeks ago when the president had the
Oh yeah, the rallies. And
yeah.
stuff.
So I happened to put it on one day, and I got a lot of kickback on it, and it's very strong,
Sure.
and we just don't want to forget about the
Yeah.
Italians.
Yeah.
There was so much out there that we did,
Right.
but the Italian community and Italian restaurant business, there's not too many good ones left.
Yeah.
I think I have something special here. Our menu has 96 items on it besides our specials. Um, Everything's made fresh in house.
Yeah.
And I show a lot of that on Instagram. And what you see is what you get. There's no tweaking, there's no touching things up on that Instagram. I do the video live, I send it out there, and it's what you see is when you come there, that's what you're going to get. And people love that. And the most important thing is that I'm so anal about cleanness, but my food is the best that I buy. Like I said, Greco and Sons, but it's steaming hot.
Right.
So when you see steaming hot food when you're eating it, people, I walk around and I'm watching them,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh my God, they're smiling." I watch the dining room, and I could see when that food's coming out, it's steaming. It's made fresh,
Right.
and how could you not
And
feel
fast.
it? Yeah.
too.
Oh my God.
I had dinner there the other night, and literally, I felt like we ordered. I had 2 second conversation. Boom, the food was out, fresh, hot, and taste consistent every single time.
I have a friend of mine, my dear friend Johnny. He's like, Gigi. He says, "You got all these people in there. How do you do it?" Every time I have dinner with my friend, he says, "How do you do it? How does this food come out so hot?"
Yeah.
So I told him one day, he says, "Come here." I took him walk in the kitchen. Our kitchen's only so big.
It's not big.
We got a 12 burner stove, but I will tell a secret right now. Whatever I buy today, we run out, we sell out. The truck is there tomorrow, Greco, Supreme,
Yeah.
Eastern. We use fresh product every day. We do not freeze anything. I believe that works. We've been doing it for 30 years. When I run out, I sell out. I say on Instagram, we're done.
Yeah.
So when I say sell out, when people say they run out, in the restaurant industry, you don't say run out. We sell out. We
Right.
sold out. Tomorrow you come back, you have it fresh. It's better you tell the customer we sold out.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's done. It's over with.
Yeah.
I hate when you go to these restaurants and they free stuff.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work that way. That's why we have a line out the door, because the product, the consistency of the food, it's there 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And then when people leave and they smile at you and says, "Gigi, I had a wonderful dinner," you can't ask for nothing better.
So, Gigi, you chose a business that most experts say in the entrepreneurial world is probably the stupidest business to bank a future on, the restaurant business, right? The average restaurant lasts maybe, 2 to 3 years and then folds if you don't do it right. You've managed, and correct that stat if I'm wrong, but I believe that's close to the truth, is that most restaurants fail within the first 3 years if they don't do it right. You managed to be in business how long?
I've been here 20 years. We've been in business since 1983 in Berwyn. But I will tell you some ideas that I have that work for me. When you first open up a new restaurant, you're in your honeymoon.
Yeah.
For 3 years. You're right, Frank. If you don't make it after 3 years, you're going to have a problem. But everybody wants to open up a restaurant. Every 10 restaurants open up, 9 close. Those are the numbers. What you have to do to be a restaurant owner, if you're young or old, the new young generation today with the money that they have and they invest, and I see these restaurants open up and they put 5, 6, 10 million in them. It's not about how beautiful they look. It's about the cleanness, the service. Your service and your food's got to be here. If your service and your food's like this, you're not going nowhere. You better close up right away.
Yeah.
But when I walk through these doors every day, you have to come in. Today's a new world with the employees, and I'm blessed. I got some phenomenal employees that have been with me for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's what makes who I am.
Right.
People say, "Hey, Gigi, if it wasn't for you," no. Thank you for coming. But it's all of us. We're a family. We're a team. It's like going to the World Series.
Yeah.
You got to have a team. You got to have the coach, which I'm the coach, right? Then you have your head chef, and then you got your manager and my wife. We all work good together. That's what makes who I am.
Yeah.
Without them, I'm lost. I'll be very honest with you. And I thank them to today. But being successful is the restaurant business. I've been here 20 years. I've been blessed for the last 20 years. It took me 3 years, 4 years, 5 years to get up there, you know. But once you're on top, the hardest thing is to stay on top,
Absolutely.
you know. And there's so many other restaurants that open up.
Yeah.
But I always tell the restaurant owners, don't worry about the guy down the block. Worry about you.
Yeah.
Other guys say, hey, the guys open up down the block. Well, when I first got here, I was by myself. There was no restaurants here. Now there's 6 of them. It becomes a destination.
Right.
But worry about Capri. And that's what we do every day. And when I walk through when I walk into the restaurant, the first thing I look at was there's an app, open table. Now, I'm not an expert with computers and everything like that. I'm an old school guy.
Yeah.
So my wife says, hey, get open table. I don't want it.
You're like, what's open table?
Right. I want to talk to Frank when he calls. Hey, Frank, what's up, cousin?
Yeah.
I need a table for 4. That's how we did it.
Absolutely.
We talk to the customer.
Yeah.
But today with the new world technology, everybody uses open table.
Yeah.
So when you get in the morning, you look at the reservations. Wow, you got 300 people on the books, 200 people. That's a great feeling,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So, and that's where you get more energy during the day.
Yep.
But you have to love this business. If you don't love the restaurant business, Frank, you better get out because it'll eat you up.
Yeah.
You know.
So Gigi, fast forwarding to like today, like all this social media success, like you said, you're not a tech savvy guy. You don't really care for computers much, but somehow you managed to crack this code of social media that has propelled your business, in my opinion, to a whole new level. And then adding this show, you know, Conversations with the Kid is going to bring it to a whole nother level.
I'm excited about this.
At what point did you realize, holy shit, the stuff I'm doing on social media is popping?
Well, you know, it's the people that call. I get so many phone calls, Frank, from like I said, Connecticut, Detroit. I was just in Boston on the North End, Frank. It's amazing that town, the North End. You ever been there?
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing how they run that North End. I met some wonderful guys out there.
Yeah.
Um,
But this is all because of social media, right?
but you're walking down the street, people are noticing you there. Everyone from Instagram. And I didn't do that because of that. I did it because of the restaurant. I wanted people to see during COVID, when everybody was shut down, I was the only one open. And I think the city, the mayor, that kept us open because my employees have their family to feed too. So we fought every day to stay open. And we stood open. I did a video every day. And then I stopped doing it, Frank. And then my customers like, hey, Gigi, where are you at? I said, what are you talking about? Well, what's on special today? What are you talking about? Well, you got to keep doing the videos. Well, it becomes a job.
Yeah.
Besides everything else
It
you
is
got going on.
another job. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So I stopped for a while, and then people are like pumping me up, and I started doing it again. But I will tell you, the response that I get, it brings you more energy.
Yeah.
And I love when these people just reach out to me. I mean, it makes me feel, it gives me more energy. It makes me even want to come to work even more.
Yeah, you're doing something right, is what it means.
Yeah.
And in those videos, you know, we're going to get into the lingo of Gigi here, okay? So we're going to define some of these words that you use. Like, let's start with bacala, all right? Hey, you bacala. Give us the definition, in your opinion, of when you say bacala, what do you mean?
Well, see, growing up, when somebody calls you a bacala, you're like we say shame, like a little slow. You know?
Yeah.
Like a goof.
Yeah.
You bacala, you know.
But you use it in jest. You use it in fun. You know,
Yes, yes.
It's more of a friendly term.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, you know, when a lot of people say, hey, cousin, you know, or we grow up and say, you chooch.
Yeah.
You know, it's just something, a term that we used to use. And
And in Italian, these are terms of affection usually, right?
yeah, it's no disrespect.
Yeah.
You know, when I do like a video, I say, hey, size your sister's ass and neck bones.
That was going to be my next question. The
Yeah.
sister's ass bit. Where does that come from?
It was just kind of growing up hearing it. A lot,
Yeah.
You know, your sister's ass, you know.
Yeah. And by the way, if your sister's ass is big, this is no offense to her. This is just kind of a love language.
And I
so
want
to
people to understand that. And I think they do now. You know, in the beginning, it was like, oh, yeah, what are you talking about?
Right.
But people understand what's going on now.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Yeah.
Zita zita. All right, you see Gigi do this. Zita zita. Don't tell anybody. What does zita zita mean?
Zita. I was growing up, you know, in the neighborhood, Cicero, you know, there's a lot of things goes on, you know, and
Yeah.
everybody used to, when the police used to come around or something, you know, hey, keep it to yourself, zita zit. Always remember that word, zita zit.
Yeah.
Even at the house,
Right.
you know, your mother used to get loud or something, or your father come around.
Yeah. Your dad's sleeping, right?
Oh, when
Don't wake him up.
No, because my father was a baker, so
Oh,
he'd come home. He worked the third shift. They have 5 boys in the house. So my
Right.
brother Robert, the oldest one, used to, zit, he's sleeping.
Yeah.
or mommy's over in the kitchen. Start to eat. Start to eat.
Yeah.
And that's what I say in my videos,
Yeah.
things like
Oh, it's great. I mean, it
It's
works.
just all the terms that growing up.
It resonates. People
Yeah.
love to hear it, especially if you grew up in a big Italian family. You hear these words and these terms, the way you say it. It reminds me a lot of my Sicilian family and how we grew up and the words we used to say. So it does. And I think that's the key to some of the magic that's
Yeah.
working for you, is that you're resonating with people who grew up in this way. And then for the people who don't, who just see it, it's kind of a new thing. And they're like, oh my God, this is funny. This is interesting. But I see videos you post with little kids saying Sunday.
Those kids videos that I get, they send me their family, their mothers and fathers. It's amazing,
Yeah.
the energy, and they watch this stuff. And again, it's just all good stuff.
Yeah.
For people that sit home. And my customers, like the other day was Saturday night, the guy came from Detroit, and his wife says, you know what? Every morning I got to hear your name. My husband's on the shitter, and I hear, shut it! So we had to come out.
Wait, hold on. Wait, who's on the shit, or your wife?
The lady came in with her husband.
Yeah.
She says, I had to take my husband here. It's his birthday.
Yeah.
Every morning I got to hear him when he's on the shitter. I hear your voice in the toilet over, shut it! And the
So
water.
it comes out and he's like,
Yeah, I says, he's watching your video every day. I said, well, that's a good thing, but we had to bring him here.
Yeah.
And these are the little things that kind of, again, like I always say, it's great that people, I just don't understand what happened to this Italian community with the restaurant industry, how people just forget about it. When you're out there more, like here, a simple thing. I do pasta patate.
yeah.
It was an old dish that we didn't have any money, so my mother had to come up with a dish, right?
Yeah.
If it was pasta and peas, whatever she had left over. But pasta patate, it's a dish, a very simple dish.
Yeah.
Nobody
Which
makes it.
Patata means potatoes.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's a little starchy.
Yeah.
But you got to know how to make it.
It's a little heavy carbs.
I love it.
Yeah.
I eat it once a month. I love it. It's a very old school meal. I made it. I put it on Instagram, and people like, Gigi, oh my God, I haven't seen that dish in 40 years. Bring back memories.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
It build up an appetite in their mouth.
Right.
And then they come here, and I'll make it for them.
Yeah.
That's no problem.
Yeah. And I think that's the magic, right? You bring in the old school Italian culture back, and the way you are on social and the way you are with your guests here, it resonates with people. And I think that's what attracts a lot of people to you. And I think it'll attract a lot of people to this show. And let's talk a little bit about this show, all right? Because that's why we're here.
Yes.
Conversations with the kid. So from a producer's mindset, this is how we're going to lay this out. Gigi has a phenomenal network of amazing people around him. He's tapped into every bit of Italian culture, Italian food, all the things around it. And we're going to be bringing in a slew of guests where we'll have these kind of roundtable conversations about the old times, about certain dishes. Like I really want to get into what goes behind your calamari Capri. Where do those recipes come from? Some of the stories that because in my mind, food evokes memory, right?
Correct.
There's science to that. You eat a certain thing, you had it when you were little, all of a sudden you're feeling those feelings of sitting at your grandmother's table, and everyone's having the conversations and stuff. So, you can share with me, Gigi, what do you want to get out of this show?
I want people to know that it's not just about what I do every day at Instagram, but they gotta know more about the kid, about Capri, what goes in the back of the house, what goes in the front of the house, but also the people that help me in my circle, my product, my staffing, the recipes, all those little detail stuff. I want my customers to know that, they just see a little bit what I got going on,
right?
And they need to know that.
Yeah.
And it's special to me to share that with my fans and my customers.
Yes.
And a lot of customers do ask me that.
Yeah.
But there's not times where I have to say that on Instagram,
Or just sit down like this and have a good conversation with a friend.
Yes.
And talk about the old days or talk about some of these guys. And it's not just the staff, you got these celebrities that come to you now. You got all these sports guys that come to Capri. We're going to be bringing some of those guys in to talk about their experiences.
I'm excited about
with
that.
the kid.
Yeah.
Talk about
we have a list of people, frankly.
a huge list of people, and it's only going to get bigger and
I'm
bigger.
excited about this.
Yeah, very good. All right, guys, so stay tuned. This is the very first behind-the-scenes episode of Conversations with the Kid. Gigi himself will be coming out with a bunch of new episodes hitting the air probably within 1 month from now. So we got to get to work.
We're moving fast, Frank.
Yeah.
We got to move fast.
Right.
Because you know how when you get it out there, they're always going to be asking questions. So
Yeah.
this is going to take off. I know on Instagram people are going to be asking me, but stay tuned. I'm with the best producer, Frank. Always remember one thing, if I'm saying it right, behind the scenes with the kid, always remember one thing, you'll never start being my friend, the kid Gigi.
What do we say at the end of every video?
Sold it!